Alright, queers, welcome back to what the fuck, my voice crack. Welcome back to artwod portrait roadmap, practicing portraits. Right? And what else? What else? I have nothing else to say. Draw along. draw along. Right? I didn't draw another hour yesterday, so and I can tell like it's the end of the year, so my brain just wants to be in relaxation mode. Is that good? Who knows, right? My obsession with self-improvement and productivity perhaps is turning into the toxic productivity kind, which is why I'm doing my best to acknowledge that, and I will be taking a break. Or not, and by a break, I mean like what? There's like 7 days till the end of the year, so, or till the year's over, right? Like it's the 23rd of December right now. So as of this recording today, my plan is draw for 7 hours. Let's push the fucking limits. Let's just, and I don't recommend this for anyone, especially if you're just drawing for like a certain amount of time. Please do go ahead, right? Even for me, like this is purely so A, I have a backlog that's just queued up until the New Year's, and B, so I can just draw casually, not have this, which is usually generally a very good pressure of recording and being disciplined in my drawing per the sake of the actual videos themselves, right? Draw along. By the way, get your fucking pen, pencil, preferably pen, out. Practice portraits with me. Let's draw along, right? But I'm just giving context as to why A, I'm going to be drawing a lot today, right? And I'll probably refer to my brain just slowly dying throughout the entire experience. And B, yeah, I mean, as consistent as I am in my drawing practice, near the end of the year, I've definitely noticed that in general, it's been 3 years now, right? So this is the third year in a row where I'm just like, okay, I literally just want to relax a little bit for 2 weeks because I'm usually go, 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 go for everything, you know, art, piano, lifting, fucking work, everything. I'm usually very go, go, go. So, right, I'm a very normal person, so I think things catch up to me, right? I actually did get burned out earlier this year. Not, I don't know if this is the stereotypical definition of burnout, but essentially, I was just, even though I didn't lose motivation to work and do everything. I simply lost the ability to do it as effectively. Like my brain just could not output on the level that it was because I was so high effort and just so like full of really pushing myself mentally and physically as much as I could, right? That even when I wanted to continue, my body was like, shut the fuck up, sit down, relax, right? And I've just kind of been feeling the back and forth of that because I actually still did not properly relax the way I should have when that happened in mid-November. So now it's like, okay, we're gonna get the drawing done and then we're gonna move forward. And again, while I'm talking, what am I doing? I'm trying to visualize. I'm still practicing visualizing the box, right? This fucking, if anybody knows from last video, this angle butt fucked me up to the moon. So we're gonna do it again because I am the butt fucker, not the butt fucky, right? So we do not take it up the ass. We only no shit. I was gonna say we only receive. That's just another way of saying taking it up the ass. Like I guess my true subconscious already knows where I stand, right? Hashtag bottom. But let's see. This is a really difficult angle. I'm still really trying to figure out what the sphere is in all of this, right? That's basically, we're seeing, it's the bottom angle of this guy's jaw. We're seeing the side of his face. It's not as turned away as this box I have here, because I'm still figuring it out during this session, right? And regarding the helmet stuff, I think it's going pretty well. Like, I'm still just slowly figuring out what am I really doing. It's just how to place hard surface elements or just, you know, multiple rounded elements or additions or subtractions on a sphere in which I'm holding in my mind, right? And again, these are all skills, and me talking and drawing and explaining and doing all these things while talking is a skill, right? I actually wanted to talk about something specifically today, which is repetition, right? And I know, and like if you know my channel, if you know me, you know I'm all about repetitions, like intentional repetitions, not just half-assed, but like intentional repetitions. But I feel as if last video, right, I only did 2 reps, right? So for those of you, if anybody did watch or skim through it or whatever the fuck, and you noticed that, hey, he only did 2 repetitions, so like, was that valuable? And the answer is, I think I have to break down the nuance of the repetition. So for those of you in the beginner phase, intermediate, whatever, for those of you trying, that you're very well aware what I think about in terms of repetitions. So by the way, I've already done like 50 repetitions. You might be wondering, no, you haven't, or what the fuck is he talking about? And I'm talking about these, the ghosting that I'm doing right now, right? And me trying to embed a sphere into this. These are all repetitions. These are all me attempting to visualize and to ghost and to ensure, essentially solidify the spatial reasoning in my mind and visualize on the page. Again, we all visualize very differently. So please, when I say like I see it in my mind or see it on the page, let it be known that it's usually a mix. It's like an amalgamation. It's kind of like a fucky, like blurry thing that just slowly gets better and better as I work on it, right? But like these are all repetitions. Me going like this is a repetition. Me trying to figure out what the fuck this, if I'm seeing the back of this guy's skull or not, is a repetition, right? because I can't tell right now. I just can't tell. But I think it's time to commit while trying to hold this as much as possible. And again, like me just trying to hold this in my mind consistently, like every time I lose and I come back and I lose and I come back, those are reps, right? The repetition is the attempt, right? Not like the final product, right? The final product is simply a byproduct, yeah, of the myriad of attempts that were made and fine-tuned on the way there, right? So yeah, that actually, I thought that I would be talking about this for much longer, but that's basically what I mean by what I want to talk about when it comes to repetitions. Like, repetitions are not the end result, right? It's not, I put down a line, that was my rep. No, it's like everything you did in your mind on the page with your fucking, with your hands, your fingers, right? Your visualization, right? Your, all the cognitive effort you put forth, and every time you put in effort, you lost focus, you put in effort, you lost focus. All of those were reps. Every single one of those were reps, right? So that's it. That's all I want to say. I guess I fucking, and even me, I'm constantly putting in repetitions, trying to talk and visualize and draw at the same time. I'm constantly doing that, right? So I think I think it's more like this. Okay, I think that's actually what I'm seeing. I just need to ignore the fucking backside of this guy's goddamn head. And also I ran out of space, so I guess 22 is gonna be here. Obviously my spacing is fucking dog shit. And because I'm drunk for 7 hours today, unfortunately I will be consuming a bit more caffeine than usual. I usually only have a tea every day, right? Which honestly, like, I have a huge caffeine sensitivity. I don't even like drinking. Like, my body loves it, but me personally, I have like a 50-50. If I could drink coffee or if I could have tea without having random problems in terms of my gut and shit, sporadically, like there's no way for me to control it, which is the annoying part, right? I can't tell if it's good for me or not, or like if it's working or not. But either way, I think this is the back of this guy's head, right? It's really difficult. I love this, right? This is the skill I'm building. It's like, but yeah, like while I'm talking and I'm trying to visualize, trying to see this fucking piece of shit's box ass head, or the box that is the head, right? And again, like I'm trying to put everything into perspective, right? So I think this is a bit better because again, where is the back of his head, right? Because I actually do need to see that as well because this is clearly. Okay, I think this. Something like that, right? That is the vertical center line, right? This horizontal center line, I think maybe is a bit too pronounced. But I am really proud of myself that this is the back of his head, right? So I'm really proud of myself that I'm slowly getting better at kind of being able to recognize as well when I'm making mistakes. And again, like this is the spacing effect. This is learning happening in real time, where you'll be like, oh shit, I can already understand this a lot better than I did yesterday. Yesterday I was grinding my brain, but because I was grinding my brain, I can see this a decent amount better now. I can genuinely see this a decent amount better. And every time I look at the reference picture I have, I'm not just looking at the reference picture. I'm constantly projecting the box onto his head, and I'm constantly projecting the sphere inside that box, and I'm constantly projecting these center lines to try to figure out what makes sense. I'm pretty sure this is kind of off, right? But his eyes are closed, which obviously makes it a bit harder. But and then we got the nose, and again, like I'm trying to see like where does all of this end? Where does it begin? Where does it end? Right? And I do not know if it is correct. Like, I actually don't know, but I'm constantly trying to project my relative understanding of these shapes and how these features sit on top of them and them existing in the space, right? Like, because everything is features existing, features which are three-dimensional volumes existing on other three-dimensional volumes, right? And right now it's very simple, like it's just the sphere, right? And I know this and this may look the same, but I feel as if my understanding is at least a bit more consistent, right? Or at least yesterday I was grinding to get to this understanding in my mind, and today I'm not working as hard because I can already see it a bit better, right? Like this understanding. But again, like this is the side of this fucker's face. It's like this, right? And I think this is the box. Yeah, so it does make a bit more sense now. And then, you know, we can just add the lips, and I'm not gonna really do anything with the lips in particular. It's just so I kind of get what's It's happening, and then this is the jaw, right? And then this is the bottom of his jaw, right? Something like that. And then that's the neck. Now, obviously that looks retarded. It's like purely from an artistic point of view, right? Let's give him the nice Squidward? What the fuck? Squidward dick sucking lips, right? Them DSLs, you know. I say DSL, but everybody has relatively thick lips, at least on the models on Pinterest, right? The Gluck Gluck 9000 is actually a very old model at this point. So these guys have all upgraded to the Suck Suck 10,000, right? Which is actually worse because apparently the suction isn't as strong, but there is more technique apparently. So I don't know. We'll have to see. I'll have to feel actually more than have to see. Okay, I feel as if this is okay. I don't think it's still again 100% accurate, but I feel as if again I've gotten a decent idea of what's going on here in terms of this face. I'm pretty sure there's quite a few things because again his head's actually tilted a bit more. It's really difficult angle. It's a really difficult angle, right? In terms of like trying to project a box onto this person's head, right? And like all the shifts in their like head tilts and them looking up and the angle that we're seeing it in. So yeah, we're definitely seeing it from here. This is, I guess, the beauty of having people with extremely fucking strong jaw lines as the reference point when it comes to models on Pinterest and shit like that, right? They actually make it a bit easier to project the box onto their faces. People with double chins and all that shit, I feel as if it'd be a bit more difficult. But again, that's why the eye line is so important, right? Like, where is their eye going? How does it relate to their ear, right? Because his ear is like something like this, right? Like, that already helps a lot because it's like, okay, like, it is connecting this way, and then the back of the skull, perhaps going down here. And again, the jaw reinforces that too, right? So that's not bad. Okay, now I'm just gonna draw a helmet, I guess, underneath that, right? So let's hold this projection, and this is actually the most important part is, well, and I say helmet, but really right now it's just, yeah, trying to draw hard surface shapes. This was my fucking paltry ass attempt. I didn't even finish this yesterday because I couldn't even fucking, like, my brain was dying. So let's just finish it. Not that any of this makes any sense, but you know, I didn't finish it yesterday, right? So let's try to hold this in our brain as much as possible. There you go. That's the ear or whatever, right? Whatever. Fucking leave it. leave it. This is just, but that's not the point right now, right? And I think me drawing it here now, that's another skill. It's like I have to hold this in my mind, and then I'm gonna have to draw over it, right? So now this way, like, because I'm here, I can't look here as much, or it's easier for me to not look there. Therefore, I can't use this as a crutch. So now actually, I just have to hold that sphere, the vertical center line, the horizontal center line, as well as a box that it's inside, right? And try my best to recall. This is now recall, which is another very difficult skill, right? It's recall. So now it's like, okay, like, where do we want, or where do I want these things to be making sense? And right now I'm gonna do something, I say simple. Again, I'm very well aware when I say things like simple, I know it's not simple. I'm not trying to I'm never trying to make things seem easier than they actually are, especially because I've put in so much work to know that they're not easy at all. I mean simple in relative terms for me, right? So, and it's still not simple because I'm still struggling a lot. That's another thing, right? I'm still struggling quite a bit to hold this in my head and on the page, however I do. So like now I'm really trying to spatially reason as well, right? Because I do want to make interesting looking shapes if I can. I just need to figure out the system I have tried. I'm like in my mind, I'm really trying to spatially reason. So I'm just trying to figure out this, what sort of system I can set in place in my mind to make sense of all this. And maybe I can even have some asymmetry, right? Something like that. And obviously this all comes back down to, again, like I'm grinding my brain. I'm really grinding my brain. And it's difficult because I'm trying to think of multiple things at once. And I really want to be clear what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking about the box. And I haven't looked at this once, right? I haven't looked at this once. So right now this is all based on my memory and me holding whatever I saw here in my mind. But what am I holding? I'm holding the box, right? That angle that I'm pretty sure that this is it. The sphere inside that, right? So I'm trying to make sure that everything is following the contour of the sphere that I'm trying to hold in my mind, right? And then the center line, the vertical center line, which I'm pretty sure something like this, and the horizontal center line, which I'm pretty sure something like this, right? But on top of that, I'm also trying to create hard surface, or addition, subtractions, multiple rounding on those additions, subtractions, intersections on those addition, subtractions. Okay, what's a nice design? Utilizing all those things I just mentioned, and I'm trying to change the angle of some things as well, right? So a lot of things are going on. A lot of things are going on, So that, and again, like, while I'm doing all that, I'm trying to make sure that it still makes sense in perspective, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm trying to build spatial reasoning skills. This is all just this, like, at the end of the day, no matter if I'm drawing portraits, what the fuck? No matter if I'm drawing portraits or if I'm drawing figures, if I'm drawing anything else, for me, the end goal is the spatial reasoning, right? I took a pause right now, but I'm still fucking trying my best to visualize and really hold that in my mind, because if the biggest return on investment when it comes to your art skills, your drawing skills, and drawing being draftsmanship, right? If that is your biggest return on investment, then simply viewing everything as a spatial reasoning exercise. That was me sipping on my fucking coffee. Is the most beneficial, no? Like, and again, like, right now I'm trying to design in my mind, like, what I could do. And again, like, the fucking chin is supposed to be here, right? So we have to think about that. And again, I'm trying to, like, keep it relatively centered, because this is very difficult. This angle is very difficult. Let's see. Yeah, because, like, I fucked it up here already. So again, I need to hold that sphere in my mind while I do this, right? And again, like, I'm trying to think about, there's so many different things. Like, okay, like, we have big shapes, right? So we need to also keep the big shapes in mind. And like, okay, but what does that mean? Well, can we have the glasses here? This is a huge spatial reasoning exercise. Huge spatial reasoning exercise. Very difficult. Very, very difficult. Right? That's like the only thing I could think of in terms of the design for this, right? Oh, want to make it look slightly more interesting? Just add little fucking cutouts, I guess. Right? Is that correct? I don't fucking know. Do I know how to design shit? No, I don't. But I'm gonna keep trying based on relative understanding of patterns and maybe what I've seen and the things I've observed, right? This is super difficult, and my mind's actually already lost the perspective multiple times. I like to make that very clear, right? I consistently lose the perspective, but the repetitions in this case is just me constantly trying to go back, right? I'd say I've put in already a good 25, 30 repetitions in just trying to maintain the perspective, right? Trying to see the sphere inside the perspective, trying to make sure that everything follows the contour, trying to make sense of the shapes that I'm drawing. Easily 20, 30 repetitions, and just trying to think of something that makes sense in terms of design. Like, okay, what is this eye area going to be, right? Now, like, okay, how do I make this more balanced? Right, because that's the back of the head. So again, like, when I look at these things in okay, hold up. When I look at these things in terms of, when you look at let's say a helmet or a cool sci-fi mech design, or you look at anything design, anything. Let's just say we look at anything in art or anything in real life, and we look at, and if when we're thinking about it in terms of spatial reasoning, it's really, really, really easy. It's really easy from a conceptual perspective to be like, yes, that is how the perspective would work. Yes, that makes sense. Okay, yes, when I think about it in a form, like, of course that makes sense, right? Of course in real life these shapes exist. Ah, yes, like, I'll remember that shape. But in practice, it is fucking extremely hard. Right? Like, right now, I don't know how to angle this on the opposite end. Like, I literally don't. But that's the problem solving I'm doing right now, right? Which is, I'm literally trying to figure out, okay, like, which way is this angled? Is it like this? Right? Is it like that? I don't know, actually. That could be completely wrong. But let's see. Who knows? Who knows? Okay. And then again, like I have to keep holding this in my mind, right? So I think already we fucked up the vertical center line. It's a bit too much centered. It should be more off to the left side over here, right? But the horizontal center line, I think, has done a decent job thus far. Now I just need to get the eye area. See, again, like it's overlapping. That's really hard to think about. I just need to get the eye area. So what can I do here? Again, I'm trying to think in terms of like what's a good helmet design, right? Or what's just like a good eye thing that we could do? See, like maybe I'm just doing a wraparound, right? And again, I lost it quite a bit here. See, and like I've seen this quote unquote motif, you know, fancy word, whatever, but I've seen this a decent amount in terms of like that little grill mark and stuff. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe it just turns into something like this. Right? Now, is that really that good? I don't think so. I think there's a lot of issues here. But again, right? We're just trying to make sense of it all. See, my lines are so bad, right? My lines are so fucking bad. Okay. So now I've looked here. Now I've looked here and I can see there's a lot of different things. But dude, like I'm just so proud of myself that I actually fucking tried. Because that was really hard. That was really, really hard. Right? And I guess if we're gonna close it off, we can close it off with something like this. Right? Something like that. I don't know. I always like these little cylindrical cutout things. I don't think that it looks that good. And obviously my lines really went to shit here. You see how thick those are? But it's okay. This is actually like it's way more tilted up than here. Right? Way more tilted up. But overall, it's alright. There's a few things. There's many things. There's like 100 things that are wrong. But I think about just the vertical center line, the horizontal center line. I think I've done an okay job. Not an amazing job, but an okay job. Right? Of kind of maintaining that. This here, I feel as if it's a bit lost. Right? And again, oh look, add this little design language. Doesn't really fucking mean anything at the end of the day. Right? Oh look, add more little outlines. What does that mean? Not much. Looks like ass now. Great. Maybe add some little cylindrical. And again, like when I do these, like immediately I just end up losing the perspective, right? But it's okay. That was really difficult. And I think I did try, for sure. Something to make it hopefully look like this is the backside would be... I don't know if we just created something elongated like this. Right? Like that maybe hopefully looks more like the back and that looks like the front. I don't know. Right? Hopefully. And again, more little grill mark type cutouts. There you go. Something like that. So maybe hopefully this looks like the back. Hopefully. Maybe I can add another cutout here. Maybe. Maybe like we can have something that insinuates that it's going there, right? I think I've possibly crowded it a bit too much. It's not possible. Not possibly, I mean like definitely 100%. But hey, as long as it looks like something. And it definitely isn't as accurate to this, but that's okay. Anyways, I'm gonna rest my brain. Right, that was really difficult, and I made a lot of beautiful mistakes, which makes me happy. But yeah, that angle, fuck this guy. And I mean that in a great way. I will fuck this guy. But no, that was really difficult. So, yeah, that was a good angle. I'm glad I did it again. I feel as if I have a slightly better understanding now. I mean, this is still very off because I lost it completely here. Like, I completely lost it on this side. And then now, like, this in general, this just looks like I'm looking at the front. Because again, in terms of design, I don't know how I could constitute a separation between the front and the back. Obviously, this is completely off perspective with this. Like, this side is off perspective with this side, right? This is off center with this, right? So there's a million things that I've already fucked up there, but feels good. Feels good. Let me just find another reference face before I take a brain break, right? Rest my brain. Okay, this person, she's like looking off to the right and her face is slightly tilted up. Okay, that's pretty good too. That's a good one. Anyways, I'm gonna rest my brain. I encourage you to do so as well. And then we shall return. But look at that. 26 minutes for this, by the way. 26 minutes for what seems like nothing, but it's genuinely a lot of effort. And that's all that matters, is we just keep putting in effort, right? Anyways, I'll be back. And please, you be back as well. All right, cool. Yeah, so obviously, like, I still have that problem of overcrowding the things that I draw. And the overcrowdedness just comes from a lack of understanding of how to space things out, how to design things in pleasing manner, right? Pleasing shapes, you know? Like, I feel as if 10 lines ago, this looked a lot better than what it does now. And of course, like, I wasn't thinking as much when it came to the bottom of this sphere, right, in terms of the contour, because if it's going like this, it's constantly getting slowly just smaller and smaller and smaller, and I didn't see that at all. But I feel as if it's okay. Like, if I just had something here that showcased that, hey, this is the bottom, feels as if that made it slightly better. But again, like, nothing about this indicates obviously that this is the back of something and this is the front of something. You guys can, because I'm explaining it consistently, you understand the idea I'm going for. Like, oh yeah, he was trying to go for the goggles here, and this is like the mouthpiece area, and like he was trying to add random shit here, you know, to like be like, oh look, it's dragging around and this is the back. But if I didn't explain any of that, nobody would know, and they'd just be like, I don't know what I'm looking at, kind of like a helmet, kind of like something, right? So clearly the bad design part is I have to explain it. If you have to explain it, then it's not understandable. You know, this is much more understandable, right? Even this is more understandable, but that's because it's the front. How do you make it understandable from behind, right? Also a very good challenge. But anyways, on to the next face, right? Okay, so she is looking off to the right. Have I already done this face before? I don't think I have. I don't think I've. Even if I have, it's still a good angle to practice, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, again, what am I doing? I'm trying to see the box, and this is again like people's jawlines keep fucking up that perception, right? Because even if, and I guess I'm just gonna draw a box here, like even if, let's say this is the angle that I see her faces in, right? Let's just say like this is the box that I see her face in, right? Purely because her jawline is like this, right? It's angled. The only indicator that really helps is her eye, which is that, right? Like when her eye is going like that is when I can transpose that onto the rest of the face and be like, okay, the box is like this. But that's why I keep saying the eye is a really good indicator, because people's jaws will angle, right? They'll angle, they'll come in perspective, and it'll fuck with you. And that's why that's why I think it's really helpful to actually be able to draw angles in multiple different perspectives. Like, I think being able to do something like this, right, in perspective is really helpful, like where you can angle it. That was a horrible example, Jesus Christ. Let me try that again. I think being able to do something like this, yeah, there you go, in perspective is very helpful, right? Because like at that, then you're able to see what the true perspective is, which is this, but also but while visualizing that, being able to calculate angles, right? So do that hundreds of times, just like I did, right? I think doing that hundreds of times has made it much easier for me to just completely fucking ignore that angle, because I'm like, I can calculate what's happening there, right? So I can just ignore it and go back to the main thing, which is the box, right? So anyways, ghosting the box, projecting that onto her face, putting a sphere inside of that, right? Getting the center line down. Again, All things that I'm just actively always thinking about, right? And this is again like another bottom angle, which is very difficult. I like doing these angles. The more difficult, the better, right? So I'm pretty sure I have a decent understanding. We're seeing more of the from the objectively the right side of her face, but from where obviously we're looking at in front of the photo, or where I'm looking at, it's gonna look it's the left side to me, but it's actually the right side, right? So let's see. Let's while holding that in our mind as much as possible. I feel as if my spheres are getting bigger, but I feel as if it's in a good way where like I'm finding a much more consistent size because now this is the size in which I'll be essentially drawing my portraits in. This give or take a little bit of, you know, like this to this clearly, right? Like I think I've found a pretty good size, right? So now again, like I'm thinking, you know, the box, right? This is a bit more subtle. I'm pretty sure this is like a decent amount more subtle. So I need to obviously respect that subtlety. And while I'm drawing this, I'm doing my absolute fucking best to project a very subtle ellipse all around, right? Oh shit, okay, so this is actually off angle, right? This is very off angle. It should have been more like this in terms of the angle, right? So it should have been more like this. But it's okay, because we made the mistake and we can't take it back, which is why pen is a beautiful medium, right? And now we just need to see like what the angle of the center is as well, like the center vertical line. And again, it's all about trying to see that ellipse, right? Obviously, like even my example that I did here, that was a bit too, there you go. See, that's more accurate. But you can see that I have a hard time making it not be as like squished together, right? Like I'm clearly in my mind I'm visualizing an ellipse that's like this, which is incorrect, right? Because you see how squished they're basically coming to a point when it should be more like this, right? Naturally curved. So either way, I mean, it's decent. Nothing incredible, but it's decent for sure. And again, I keep holding that in my mind as much as possible, right? And then again, the nose I'm going to use simply as a good indicator for simply where the features are currently laid out, right? And as a volume, which helps as well. So, of course, this is not going to be an accurate reflection of what her actual face looks like, and it shouldn't be, not right now, not for what I'm concerned with. But damn, she has like no eyebrows, bro. What the fuck? These models and their weird obsessions. They're like weird ass features. Well, watch me roast people that get paid to look good, right? And let them know that they actually don't look that good. Speaking of not looking that good, Ariana Grande, anybody? I wonder if that opened up a shitstorm. I don't know. She just looks gaunt as fuck. I do. It's perfect. I like a woman with a bit of meat on her bones, and she definitely fulfills those requirements, considering she's only bare minimum meat and bones. Scary times we live in, you know, when your last name can essentially be a Starbucks order. It's crazy. But let's see. This is okay. This is not bad. I feel as if again, not perfect. Definitely, there's definitely way more of an angle in the actual reference, and it's all about subtlety. That's what I love about portraits, is if we're thinking about it from a purely what's it called? And again, I'm trying to think while I do this, right? If we're thinking about this purely from a draftsmanship perspective, which is perspective, right? I love how I said perspective twice. I guess that made sense. But this portraits are such a good skill. And when like in terms of like a draftsmanship perspective, it truly opens up an entirely new world of what's it called? Like the nuance, right? The nuance of the angles, the nuance of subtlety, the nuance of like, oh shit, if you change one little thing, if you get one little perspective off, completely changes everything. It's a really good way to train, I think. Really, really good way to train. Right. Oh, right. But I think I got the center line. Like the center is a bit off. Yeah, because her eyes are like her eyes are decently positioned, I would say. Left eye is supposed to be bigger, I'm pretty sure, which I fucked up. Right? And again, like this is a good way for me to train proportions as well. Not because that's the primary concern, but it's because it's, again, we're just trying to reinforce. See, like the center of her nose should have been, this should have been further out, like that. The center of her nose is right around here, right? But because this, I made this a bit too far out. Again, all the nuance and subtlety, and that's just subtlety, and that's just what I can perceive. What I perceive could also be completely inaccurate, which is why we have to keep constantly double checking and analyzing. Be like, wait, is that how it is? Is that how it is? Okay, so now that we got that, we got this angle. It's basically these two are the same, right? This one's slightly different, but I still have to hold this projection in my mind now, right? To hold it in my mind, and I have to keep that box in my mind, right? Even when I'm looking at her, I have to see the box, and even when I'm looking at this, I have to see the box, right? So let's think. And again, not just the box, by the way, but the sphere inside the box and the center lines inside the sphere inside the box, right? So 3 layers of visualization, right? If that sounds extremely difficult, it is. If that sounds extremely unnecessary, I don't believe it is. I believe it's not extremely unnecessary because, again, the more we can push our brains and the more we can really just push ourselves to see things, right? However we see things, however we visualize, however we calculate, right? The easier we're making for it down the line. You know, why can I draw? I guess just to give an example, right? This is for my live stream. Why, with zero understanding of design, function, anything interesting, why can I draw something like this or something like this or something like this or something like this, right? Why can I do any of these? Because I've pushed my brain to just really try to understand and put and calculate and visualize and to think ahead, right? Draftsmanship. None of what I'm saying is really new or special or spectacular and really definitely not impressive whatsoever, right? But I think I've noticed a few people, obviously beginners, and I understand because beginners are beginning. Anything that's even slightly like two factors above their skill level will seem impressive. Like this, 2 years ago, I would have fucking lost my shit if I could draw something like this. You know, genuinely, like even a year ago, if I could draw something like this, I would have been like, what the fuck, damn! I thought this would take at least 3 more years, right? So our own, I guess, understanding of what we're capable of will change as well, right? But I don't think anything of what I do is special. And I know, like, I consistently get, not critiques, not consistently, but I do get people. I know it seems maybe hardcore, but it's not hardcore, guys. It's literally the path laid out for you to become an excellent draftsman, right? By artwod, by the way, by artwod. Like, again, artwod is the fucking like when I'm the fucking like an amazing artist and when I'm quote unquote great or whatever the fuck, like 5, 10, 15 years, of course, offset it to the future so I don't have to take responsibility now. But when I'm just much better, the answer will still be the same. How did you get so good? I found one of, if not the best platform in the world for learning how to become an excellent draftsmanship. I turned my brain off and I simply just did what I was told, and I did 10 times more than what I was told because volume negates luck. Hashtag Alex Hormozy, right? But no, fucking, like, again, I love the mentality that's promoted there, which is just work hard and work hard on the right things and simply focus on the effort. It's like my personality is just a fucking hot pot or amalgamation of like Huberman, Hamza. Well, like Hamza really helped me in self-improvement in the beginning, right? They all say the same shit, right? The effort is the reward. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Hard work is the goal, right? But the gist of it all is just do the difficult things. I actually internalized a lot of this before I even found these people, or like while I found them, but I didn't even think about it the way they were saying it. But for me, like art literally taught me and reinforced to me that. And again, like people like Kim Jong-il, right? He actually way more influential in my life when it comes to just like thinking about doing things that are difficult, because he never explicitly said any of that. But for me, it was like 1 + 1 = 2, right? Oh, he's using an extremely difficult brush pen. Oh, he's constantly thinking about the perspective. Oh, he said when he was younger, like he would spend hours and hours drawing and he would just keep grinding his brain. Oh, based on what I know about neuroscience, neuroplasticity, the science of learning, the fucking benefits of growth mindset, the benefits of attaching dopamine to failures themselves and mistakes, and the fact that our brain learns better when we make mistakes and we acknowledge those mistakes, and then you just put it all together on my own, like of my own volition. I just trialed and errored and understood it, like, oh, okay, so I do difficult things and I must make things as difficult as possible consistently, because down the line, like even something that's like slightly easier than that is jujubi, as my people say, Tamil people. Right? I don't even know if that's just a South Indian saying, but jujubi, it just means like it's easy, it's nothing, right? It is but a pittance. But it is but a pittance for anybody who doesn't understand my accents. right? But yeah, like again, like I'm just visualizing, and I'm constant repetitions, and I'm failing like half of these attempts of visualizing, right? I'm failing them, but I'm really trying to hold it in my mind as much as possible. And again, like this is just the first step, which is the box, the sphere inside the box, the center lines inside the sphere inside the box. That's just the first step. The second step is okay. Additions, subtractions, multiple roundings in a pleasing manner, aesthetically spaced out. Okay, sure. Baseline design. Third step. Okay, like if we're trying to think about a helmet, functionality. What does this do? What does that do? Right? What elements, like if these elements are being arranged in a particular manner, they need to have some sort of purpose. They need to have some sort of function, right? Oh wait, now that I'm thinking all of that, I just lost the entire perspective. Let's go back to the first step, right? These are the repetitions I'm constantly doing in my mind. And it is very difficult. And in the beginning, for you, the repetitions you're constantly doing in your mind and on the page will just be line, plane that looks like ass, right? A box that looks like ass, hundreds of times. Oh god, I bumped my bald ass head onto the camera. This is what happens when I when I get in the zone, right? So, anyways, I say all of this just to keep reinforcing to those who are like me and maybe are anybody who has any sort of personality trait that's similar to mine, which is, hey, the logic of it all makes sense to me. Perhaps you're just a bit lost on where to put effort in and how to put effort in. Again, watch that. This is a video for beginner artists. I literally have a channel. I have a video on my channel called "This is a video for beginner artists," in brackets, "You are not alone." I literally put that out because I was starting to forget how much work I put in, and I want beginners to know, and I want, again, as a reminder to myself to know that, hey, this is the work it takes, right? But like I'm losing this so much. Like again, while I'm talking and drawing is a skill, talking and visualizing is a skill, talking and calculating is a skill, talking and designing and calculating and visualizing is a very difficult skill. So I hope I keep making my point, right? I don't, again, when I am great, right, 5-10 years from now, when people are like, oh my god, he's becoming the next Kim Jong-il, this is what you should refer to. And I will keep saying the same shit then too, which is just, hey, this is very slow, gradual progress, full of effort, which looks like nothing to you, because I'm, for the last 5 minutes, whatever I've been doing, just going like fucking wiggling my fingers, right? That's why I really encourage everybody to draw along. Please use these videos as call to actions to draw, right? Like, if you have trouble with consistency, let my consistent upload schedule be your fucking lifeline, right? Obviously, I don't want it to be the only reason you draw, but please let it be like a great anchor to be like, oh, he uploaded today. I have to do an hour of drawing while he fucking bullshits in the background. Let me mute him, give him retention. Oh, I love this guy. Right? Oh. So, okay, but like now I've done enough visualizing, or as much as I can and I want to, and we just have to commit, right? So, again, this line already seals my fate in a lot of ways, right? And again, while I do these, my lines are shit. Right? Let's not forget my lines are shit. So it's very difficult to visualize all this while I talk. What the fuck? Completely losing track of what I'm doing. Let's see. Something like this. I'm trying to think of like some sort of unique. And again, look at the unevenness of my lines, right? It's really bad. It's really, really bad. But that's okay. Because that's where the growth occurs, you know? Let's see. And then maybe something like this. Right? If it makes sense. Again, keep losing the perspective. I'm trying to think. What do I want out of these shapes? And of course, I can try something more organic, right? I can try something more organic. That's actually a very liberating feeling because, again, like I'm trying to visualize that center line as well, right? But it's all trial and error. It's all trial and error. Like you might be thinking, where's he coming up with these angles? Because every step of the way, I'm like, not only do I have to think about the perspective, but like, does this make sense? Is it in the right angle, right? And like, okay, now what if this is like rounded like so, right? It's kind of okay. Now what if there's like a little hinge here, right? Does that even make sense? No. Well, too fucking late. I already made it, right? Move on, right? And then this we don't see as much of, I'm pretty sure, based on what I know about perspective. So, all trial and error. While doing my best to keep that fucking box, sphere, and contour lines in my mind, right? And I could have easily already fucked this up. Like now, I've never done this before, but maybe what if I want to add a little clasp, right? Because I've never done that. Right, and this could also solidify the perspective for me as well. See, and again, like, you'll notice that, oh, he keeps doing the same angles and all that shit. I'm trying to break out of it. Trust me, I really am. Like, I really am trying to break out of it. Um, that's why a lot of my shit is failures, right? It's just very difficult. It's just very difficult. You know, it's really, really difficult. And I hope people listening or watching get comfort. Maybe not now, but in the future when I am great again, right? Or when I'm much, much better or excellent or whatever the fuck. Again, this is like what, part 21, part 22 of portrait practice, right? In part 100, hopefully, it'll be very clear, like, oh, he just kept going. He just kept going. Right? Like, he just did not stop and he didn't let anything get in his way. Especially and when I talk about getting in my way, we all know it's mostly just my own. It's just like what's in our own heads, right? Which is apparently a zombie. Ha ha ha! Great reference, thank you. But and again, like I'm trying to really think about design, you know. So we'll have to see. And like this is where I take a pause and I calculate, right? Like okay, if this is going like this is kind of what I've established. Then something like that. And again, like that's an angle I'm calculating. I'm seeing this contour, right? Seeing this contour, seeing the box, trying to think. It's a lot, like because I have to think about the contour of the shape itself, which is a spherical shape, and then like okay, but what about the actual perspective that we've established as well? What about that? Okay, like but how does it contour along here? Lots of things to think about. Lots of things. And because I'm a bit more advanced now, I understand that it might, like, I may not be explaining things as well as I would like. And I know it's unfortunate. And I know that it's hard to just take a step back and constantly be like, hey, I'm thinking about the box. I'm like always calculating angles, right? And I know for those who don't have this ability yet, because I believe you will be able to get there. That's why I say yet. Again, Carol Dweck, we're on the power of yet, right? Growth mindset, but like genuinely yet, right? For those of you who want this ability and think it's something out of your reach, it's not out of your reach. It's just you just haven't put enough repetitions in, intentional repetitions in, and you just haven't given yourself the liberty to be like, hey, this takes time. If there's any skill that I could genuinely give to you is patience, right? And patience isn't just waiting. Patience is doing something while time passes, right? So the thing you can do, even if you don't feel patient, the thing you can do is simply the work, right? To the best of your ability. I keep saying this. I don't want to draw 90% of the time nowadays. And this isn't me reinforcing to myself I don't like drawing. I'm just saying in general, it's not something that I really think about. Like I have moments in my life where I'm obsessed with art, and then I have moments like mentally and physically, and there are moments where I'm just like it's just not there. Like I'm not really obsessed with anything. I'm just doing my routine, right? But it's the moments where I don't feel like doing it, and then I do it is when I really, really reinforce to myself that hey, like this is something that I'm capable of, right? And you are capable of it too. Now, what's a shape that we could do that could either completely fucking bastardize this or actually make it look pretty interesting? Now, here, we're just gonna complete the sphere. And I think I made this a bit smaller. I definitely made it a bit smaller, right? There you go, that's something like that. I know that's not perfect. Okay. So yeah, the sphere is a bit fucked, right? And it's all these lines that I made, the choices that I made with these lines. That's why it's fucked. That's just a fact, right? Now here again, we have to think in terms of the perspective. Did I fuck it up? I don't know. I keep losing the perspective, right? So it's very possible I did. Nope. See, that's incorrect, but I've committed. Okay, see, that's completely off. Because the other side was so difficult for me. Look at that. Complete fuck up. Complete fuck up. Absolutely complete fuck up. But I'm not beating myself up over it. It's a good thing. Because now I know, like, hey, like, you really have to take your fucking time, bro. What are you doing? Right? Like, genuinely, what are you doing? And now here's me again, like, I fucked up this line. It was supposed to be angled a lot better. Now here, how can I salvage this? When in doubt, just add little fucking grill marks and call it a day, right? And okay, so if that's the perspective, I have to think about this end as well. Is that... Did I do that wrong? I think I did do that wrong. Something about this doesn't seem right. Okay, how about that? And then we should add the eyes as well, right? Damn, it's been 51 minutes. Okay, okay. Well, I don't want this to be a shorter video. So, again, like, I obviously very consistently lost the perspective, and that's another thing that you have to keep training, right? Is the perspective. And again, like, while I'm doing this, my brain's really hurting, by the way. I'll make it very clear, none of this is easy for me. Like, literally none of this is easy for me. That's a fuck up. Again, like, everything has just been a fuck up at this point. Right? None of this is easy. That was a huge fuck up, but kind of we made it work. But like, even here, right? What is actually happening there? Oh, look, the pen decided to give me more clean, more ink flow. Therefore, I fucked everything else up, right? But I'm constantly visualizing. And again, like, you'll see, like, this is actually pretty fucking off in terms of, like, I had the right idea, but this especially, bless me. Oh, there you go. Now that's a bless me. This top part right here definitely messed it up. It's a bit more angled like this, right? This is it's not as pronounced like this. The center line, sorry, the center ellipse that I'm basically contouring this off of, right? I do apologize. I'm not trying to be vague. It's just I'm also trying to think, right? Here's me trying to add more complexity. And more than anything right now, this is just me practicing my lines, right? So obviously there will be some silence from my end, possibly. There you go. Okay. So like we added these little cutouts, but it's like, okay, how do these actually make sense three-dimensionally, right? Like, what are we doing here? And I think the answer is just they're just cutouts. And now it's being muddied. It's being very muddied. But I've already committed. Okay, something like that, I guess. Right? I'm honestly just padding for time because it's been 54 minutes and I'm not going to have the time to draw an entire other one as well, right? I guess 2 repetitions is really all I got right now. But okay, we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that, and then I'll spend the rest of this time just reinforcing that, hey, I am thinking about all these things, right? Because like this will be my nice little thumbnail. Let's make this my thumbnail. Okay, look at me, I'm drawing thing. Very nice, very nice. Right, there you go. There's my thumbnail. Oh, I'll probably choose another one where I'm actually like actively drawing it. Who fucking knows? Lots of mistakes here, lots of mistakes. But here's what I'm trying to think of, right? This is what I'm thinking of when I'm looking at the picture. Fucking keep offsetting the thing. But this is what I'm thinking of, right? Like something like this is what I'm actively trying to think of, right? Like this. And it's just these three axes. Axes? I don't know what the fucking plural of axis is. Axes? Axes? That's what I'm trying to think of, right? So like this is the first layer of my thought, by the way. This is the first layer. It's this. This is the first thing I try to project onto my reference in my mind, onto the reference, and I try to hold this, right? So this is the first thing. I try to project as accurate as I can, and I'm constantly analyzing like, okay, her eyes are like this, and her ears this way, right? Like which way? This is actually obviously inaccurate compared to the reference because it should be a bit more harsh of an angle, right? Actually, like the box is accurate compared to the reference, but I'm saying what I did was inaccurate because you can see this horizontal center line is a bit too subtle. This one actually did it slightly better, but not that much better, right? And yeah, this is completely off. But like this is constantly what I'm holding in my mind, by the way, to the best of my ability. I lose this hundreds of times throughout a session, right? So that's the first step. The second step is clearly, as you can see, the ellipse or the sphere inside of this box, right? And this is not a perfect cube. It should be a perfect cube, obviously. I'm just trying to like illustrate that, hey, I'm like, this is what I'm thinking of, right? The first layer of visualization, or just mentally holding something in my mind, and however you visualize, right? In the beginning, it was all in my mind. I would see things in my mind, right? Like vague lines, you know, really, really, really difficult because it's a skill. So it took a year and a half to be able to even make those lines relatively clear, right? But then again, Kim Jong-il's like, oh, I see it on the page. I'm like, oh, I'm enamored by that. I think I would like to train the skill of seeing it on the page as well. So I've slowly, over the following year and a half, which is up until now, practicing seeing it on the page. And now it's like 20, 80, 30, 70, like 30 in my mind, 70 on the page, like a mix, like really just trying to project things onto the page, right? And these are all skills, by the way. Like I would really encourage people not to believe they have aphantasia until they put in as much effort as they can to visualize, right? And I think, again, I'm pretty sure I've seen a couple studies that say that even people with true aphantasia were able to build like some sort of visualization ability particular to them through intensive training, right? So it just comes down to, how much do I give a shit about visualizing? How much do I give a shit about this ability? How much do I give a shit about wanting to put the effort in, right? And I know a lot of the times it's not how much you give a shit, because everybody gives a shit. It's just like doing it. I know that's the difficult part, which is why knowing that just putting in effort is valuable in and of itself is what helped me. So I really, really hope that helps you as well. Just know that your effort is literally the value, right? And just transposing, I don't know why I keep saying the word transposing. I don't even know if I'm saying it in the right context anymore. It's just a fucking unnecessarily 3-syllable word, which is what I'm full of, I guess. But like that helped me, is just knowing that the effort is literally something that helps. Like when we now I keep wanting to say transpose now. But yeah, but when we link effort to the reward, or when we just link effort to the value, or just knowing that the effort is all that matters, and then we feel good about the errors that we make, and we come out of everything that we do when we try just be like, I tried, that literally makes us grow better too, and it's mentally healthy as well, right? So you don't have to believe me, believe in the science, and even if the science isn't real, it's still something that's good for you. Like objectively speaking, do I want to feel like shit when I try, or do I want to feel good when I try? If I can just keep forcing myself to feel good because I'm trying, therefore I'll just keep wanting to try because I feel good when I try. Wow, I need science to tell me that that's good for me. Do you not? Doesn't fucking matter, because we all know like that sounds like a pretty good deal, right? That we can train ourselves to do that. But anyways, I'm thinking about the box, I'm thinking about the sphere inside the box, and then the center lines, right? Which is this, like I'm constantly trying to hold this in my head as much as possible, right? Fucking Jesus Christ, these lines. But yeah, this is literally what I'm thinking of. All the gray shit and even like this sphere, right? That is what I'm literally holding in my head to the best of my ability. But it doesn't look like this, by the way. It's more like this. If I were to just give like a random example, it's more like, it's like this. Where it's like, oh, okay, kind of vague box. Do I really connect this a little bit? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So like maybe it's like half-assed, right? The sphere is kind of like this, right? And then like the fucking, and then the center lines is more like, okay, it's like this is like super light and super vague, and this is like super light and super vague. But then like, because I know the logic behind it, that's why I keep ghosting, and that's why I'm like, okay, no, it makes sense, right? And then as we keep going, one day, years from now, then it might look like this, right? Like just like how when I can visualize a box right now, I can literally visualize this box I'm about to draw. Right, I can just, there you go. I visualized that. And it looked basically equally as clear as you see it. A little too clear. These lines are fucking ass. But I hope the point is made. in the beginning, that's what my boxes looked like what I was trying to visualize. It was like, bro, what the fuck? How do I think about a line? And there's a horizon line over here too. I can barely see that, and like it's going here, and there's a point there, and there's a point there, and like what the fuck? And now this is going down here. Oh my god! And then like, whoop, went the wrong way. Whoop, went the wrong way. Oh, but like I know that logically speaking, it's supposed to be parallel, right? So keep trying to see that. Keep trying to see that. Lo and behold, 2 years of effort, 2 years of consistent fucking hardcore, just my brain just keep pushing it, keep pushing it, and the effort is all that matters. I keep making mistakes and I keep feeling good about them. Now it's like, okay, I see a box that looks like that in my mind. Just a box. Just a box and a cylinder, by the way. Just boxes and cylinders, right? So these are skills that take a lot of time, but the beautiful thing is everybody can put in effort and everybody can raise their standard for that effort as well. Like the more we learn, the more we put effort in, the better we get at putting effort in. Therefore, the bare minimum standard of the effort that we put in gets higher and higher and higher. I was not thinking on these fucking many levels or layers half a year ago, let alone a year ago, in the beginning of the year when my channel was already active and I was uploading and all that shit. I was not thinking on this level, but now I am, because I kept forcing myself and kept pushing myself to try to reach something like this level consistently. And again, 5 years from now, I'll be thinking with like more fucking layers. It'll be like, if I'm doing a mannequin, it'll be like, okay, I'm thinking about the box, then I'm thinking about all the different shapes inside the box which comprise about those mannequins, and then I'm thinking about the anatomy, the manipulated shapes on those simple shapes inside that box, right? And it just keeps going. But it's all skills that keep stacking and layering, but we just keep pushing ourselves, right? So I hope this was at least beneficial, informative, right? Arousing for some. But yeah, it's been an hour now that I've fucking talked no jutsu my way through the last 5 minutes of this session. With that being said, I hope you put a lot of effort in. I hope you enjoyed putting the effort in, and I hope you made as many mistakes as I did, because that's all that matters, right? If not more. And I hope you felt good about those mistakes, and I hope you keep training yourself to attach dopamine to mistakes, which is just gaslight yourself, feel good, just keep forcing however you feel good. Again, I had a shit-eating grin on my face for like the first year of when I learned about attach dopamine to mistakes. It's like, okay, I just need that. What does that mean? That means I need to be able to recognize mistakes, which means I need to be able to understand what's good and what's bad, right? So we just keep of our own research, in this case of draftsmanship, keep looking at good examples of good perspective, like good way of thinking about it, understanding that it's all parallel, convergent, slightly converging, whatever, right? But we're like, okay, so that's good. So bad is anything that falls outside the range of that. Now I'm going to train my eye to be able to analyze that. Okay, so that's a mistake. Now I attach dopamine to that mistake, right? As in I feel good about that mistake. How do I do that? For me, literally just a giant shit-eating grin and just forcing some vague, like, oh, I feel so good, like that type of feeling. Right now I can just force myself to feel good. Right now I'm literally forcing myself to feel good because I made a million mistakes, and it's just my natural baseline skill ability, right? Everything is a skill. So yeah, I don't know why I keep going on these tangents. This is the fucking caffeine. But hey, like I need it for today, just for today, to get these 7 hours of drawings out of the way so I can cue it for the rest of the year and just chill. And then, be nice and refreshed and good to go and just proper for the rest of the year. But with that being said, I'll literally be back within like 20 minutes. But with that being said, as always, fuck you for watching, keep drawing, and please, give me money.